All right, welcome back, everybody. You are watching the Now Morning Show right here on TTT. Now, prostate cancer is something very serious and it affects many men here in Trinidad and Tobago. And we're going to be speaking with a prostate cancer survivor to ventilate this topic and to also find out his story. I'm speaking about Michael Stewart. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Quite well. Thank you for joining us this morning. Now, you're a prostate cancer survivor, and we want to go through your story and the journey that you went through with this, and how you were able to come out on the other side of it, still standing strong. So, when were you first diagnosed with prostate cancer?
I was diagnosed in about 2016. I had no symptoms whatsoever. I practiced because I was working in the health department, and I practiced what they said, that you should always do your checks and your own screenings, etc. So I knew that once somebody reaches a certain age, they should do certain normal checks, etc. And so I went ahead and did that. And in that case, I saw my PSA, that is the blood test that they use to determine that there is a rise in the concern regarding your prostate. I think 3 is your average, and mine 3 to 4 was the average, and mine kept rising, and then it would fall. Though there was a delay, I felt that I should continue further investigation. There's the other aspect of doing the digital, where the doctor would put a finger up in the rectum of the patient to be able to determine whether the prostate is indeed enlarged or showing any malformation. That's proved to be okay. The PSA kept rising and falling and coming down back and so on. But in continuing to monitor, I recognized that after a while, the test getting higher and higher. And so that is what caused me to now seek specialist help, and then to be able to have it addressed. And then it was found out that I did indeed have prostate cancer.
What age were you when you found out, when you received this diagnosis?
Say that again, please.
What age were you when you received this diagnosis?
I'm only hearing the part when you said seeing diagnosis. I didn't hear the
Sorry,
first one.
what age were you when you received this diagnosis?
Oh, I was already in my 50s. Yeah, I was already in my 50s because that was 2016.
Right.
Um, and so how old am I now? I'm about 56, 57 now. So I was already in my 50s when that happened.
Wow. And what stage were you at that point in time?
The first part of what you're saying, it comes in very low, and then I'm hearing point of time.
Let me repeat myself. What stage were you at when you received the diagnosis?
Well, they said I caught it at an early stage because of the fact that I was monitoring. Had I delayed it and continued, then it would have been a different story by now. So I think that is the message that I would like many persons and men to be able to understand, that your constant monitoring. The thing is that many men say that they don't want to find out because of all the fear, and even the process of going through the examination is it's humiliating. But as I tell men, that when you look at what women do to do their pap smear and to do childbirth and so on, then uh, it is something that we have to now learn to accept, and not use it as a measure of this manliness of not finding out. I've known
Right.
of people who said that they were very hesitant to be able to go through the test, and they waited too late. So the issue is really go and do your screening, and go and do your test. And in Tobago here, there is a space called the Blue Room in Tobago at the old hospital, that was designed, and the vision of the then Secretary for Health and Wellness and Family Development, Dr. Agatha Carrington, where men can go in a safe space without having to go into the main hospital environment, to have various aspects of the health check, not only their prostate, but also their blood of diabetes, their cholesterol, etc. And so we want men to utilize that facility to be able to do and make sure that they are monitoring what's taking place.
At what age would you say men should start getting these tests done?
Well, usually they said we're about 50, but they said, listen, if you have it in your family and you are predisposed, you should really start this in your 40s, because there would have been a disposition, a predisposition that you would need to be able to ensure that you are monitoring it constantly. You see, so about your 40s should be okay in my respectful view. I'm not a doctor, but in my view.
Well, you're a survivor, so you did something right. And with that, Michael, I want to say thank you for joining us this morning and for sharing your story. And again, we want to continue to encourage men to go get their testing done, because it's better that you go and find out in the early stages, and that way you'd have a greater chance of survival. Right now, though,
Absolutely.
we're going to take a short break and come back with much more. Thanks again, Michael Stewart.